Hey boys and girls, so today we're going to be going over Unit 3, Lesson 8, which is translating inequalities. So what we're going to be working on today is taking inequalities that are written out in word form, and we're going to change them so they look like numbers and symbols instead. All right, so we're going to change them from words to numbers and symbols. All right, once you've written your name at the top of the page, let's jump into the do now. It says answer each of the following questions below. Part A. Miss Salerno is sitting in the auditorium and recognizing the following sign shown below. The question says, what is the meaning of this sign? So here's the sign. It says the maximum occupancy cannot exceed 1,200 persons. So you guys have seen this in the cafeteria at school. You guys have seen this in the auditorium at school. You've probably seen this at the movie theater in real life. There's always usually a maximum occupancy for the number of people that can fit in one space. All right, so as I'm looking at this sign, I'm seeing the keyword maximum. Okay, I'm also seeing the keyword do not exceed. It cannot exceed, and it can't exceed 1,200 people, all right? So when you think it can't exceed, or the maximum number, that means that I can have up to 1,200 people, but I can't have any more, all right? So I can have 1,200 people. I can equal 1,200, but I can't be any more. So if I can't be more, that means I want to be less. All right, so when I'm thinking of this as an inequality, I should be thinking of the less than or equal to symbol. All right, because again, maximum, that's the most. The most you can have is 1,200, but that's it. I can't have any more. All right, so it says, what's the meaning of the sign? The sign is saying that you cannot hold or it cannot have, one or the other, whatever word makes more sense to you, more than 1,200 people. Okay, you could say the most amount of people is 1,200, something along those lines. And then it says write an inequality that represents the sign. So again, I'm going to use the variable p for people. So I know that the number of people would have to be less than, or it could equal 1,200, because again, I can have 1,200 people, but I can't have any more. If anything, I could have less. So less than or equal to. Part B. It says the end of the quarter is in 2 weeks. In order to pass this class, you need a minimum grade of 65. What does this statement mean? So you guys have been hearing this since, elementary school. The minimum, that's a key word. The minimum grade that you can have is 65, all right? If you got a 64 in this class, would you pass for the year? No. If you got a 64.5, would you pass for the year? No. The minimum grade, the lowest grade that you can have is a 65. So what does this mean? It means that the lowest grade, right? The lowest grade, the minimum grade that you can have is a 65 to pass. All right. Next, it says write an inequality to represent this statement. So I'm going to use the variable g for grade, because that's your lowest grade. So I know that my variable is g, and I know that my number is 65. So in order for me to pass, I could have a 65, so my grade can equal 65, but it can't be less. If it's less than 65, like 64, 63, 62, that doesn't work. All right, so I can be 65, or I could be more, right? Greater than 65. So this is the inequality symbol that I'm looking for. Greater than or equal to 65. And it looks like this, greater than or equal to 65. All right, so this is what we're going to be practicing today, looking for those key words. Does not exceed, maximum. That's the inequality symbol you should be thinking of when you see these key words. Minimum again. This is the inequality symbol you should be thinking of. All right, so underneath, when I see these keywords, I'm just going to have you guys maybe pause the video for a minute and just copy this down. These are the keywords that you are going to see in this course for the most part. All right, I don't know if I hit every single expression that you can see that will represent less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, but these are the key words you're going to see in this course. All right, once you have those done, let's flip to the next page. All right. So here we go. Since today we're looking for those key words that represent inequality symbols, that's what I want to look for first in each one of these questions. So anytime you see a number sentence, you always want to try to cube the question. Circle key numbers, box math action words, right, to help you solve. So as I'm reading example 1, it says Mr. Woods' height is greater than or equal to 60 inches. All right. I know that this lesson is based on inequalities, and I know that the greater than or equal to inequality is something that I can use for this question because I'm seeing those key words, greater than or equal to. If I'm saying that Mr. Woods' height is greater than or equal to 60, well, I'm going to let W represent Mr. Woods. W. Greater than or equal to, that inequality symbol looks like this, greater than or equal to. And here's my key number, 60. So now that I've cubed the question, I know that Mr. Woods' height is a number, so anytime I don't know what that number is, I represent it with a variable. It's greater than or equal to, because of those words, 60, because that's the number. So when I write my inequality on the side, I'm going to write W is greater than or equal to 60. Okay, you could have used a different variable. You could have used X, and we would have got the same answer. All right, let's look at number 2. It says a number increased by 17 is greater than 71. So I'm seeing that keyword greater than. I know that that's an inequality symbol as well. Looks like this for greater than. And now I'm going to go back and just cube the rest of the question. A number. Numbers we like to circle. So I'm going to circle this. I don't know what that number is, so I'm going to let it be represented by the variable X. Increased. Increased is a key word, so I'm going to box that. If I'm increasing, I should be thinking addition. Increased by 17. 17 is a number. I'm going to circle that. I'm going to literally write the number 17. And all of this is greater than 71. Again, 71 is a number. I'm going to circle this and actually write 71. So I can see my inequality sentence right here. X plus 17 is greater than 71. So that's what I'm going to put on the side. X plus 17 is greater than 71. All right, let's look at another one, number 3. It says Jessica's weekly earnings are $8 per hour, and they're no more than $50, so no more than. This was a key word that we had wrote down on the first page. If you don't remember what it represents, that's okay. You can always flip back. No more than. So here's the first page. I'm going to look. Where do you see no more than? I'm seeing it right here. So no more than is the less than or equal to inequality symbol. So I'm going to fill that in. It's less than or equal to. And that makes sense because I can't be more than 50. I can be 50. I can equal 50. That's why I'm going to use the equal part. But I can't be more than 50. So if I can't be more than 50, that means I could be less. So that's how we're getting less than or equal to 50. And now I'm going to go back and just cube the question again. So Jessica's weekly earnings are $8. And I'm going to circle that key number, 8. $8 per hour. Per is a key word. Per tells me to multiply because it's 8 times every hour she worked. So 8 times, we use parentheses to show multiplication, per hour. Hours are numbers, right? 1 hour, 10 hours, but I don't know how many hours. So I'm going to use the variable h here for hours. And again, it's no more than $50, so I'm going to circle 50, and I'm just going to write that number as well. So here's my inequality sentence. 8 times h is less than or equal to 50. 8h is less than or equal to 50. All right, let's look at a few more, and then you guys are going to practice some on your own. So number 4, it says Jeff has 12 gallons of gas in his tank. He stops at Jiffy Gas Stop to fill his tank. His car can hold a maximum of 21 gallons. Write an inequality to express the maximum number of gallons he can purchase. This one looks really tricky, because it is, but you really just need to break it down by, again, cubing that question and really reading into what it's telling you. So as I'm reading this through, I saw that keyword maximum. That's an inequality word. Maximum is most, max, most. So the most I can have is 21. So that means I can have 21. I'm gonna have that equal symbol, but that's the maximum. I can't be more than 21, but that means I could be less than 21. So maximum is the inequality less than or equal to. And if you're having any trouble, one more time, you can always look back at the first page. And you would see, here it is, maximum is that less than or equal inequality symbol. All right, so let's go back to number 4. So we kind of got this out of the way, and now I'm going to start cubing the question. Jeff has 12 gallons. 12 is a key number. I'm going to circle it. So he has 12 gallons, but his car can hold a maximum of 21 gallons. 21 is a key number as well. Write an inequality to express this. All right, the only thing that's missing here right now is my variable. I can't just write 12 is less than or equal to 21. Okay, I need a variable to set up this inequality sentence for me. So I must have missed something. So I'm gonna go back and read it one more time. Jeff has 12 gallons of gas in his tank. He stops at Jiffy Gas to fill his tank. This is the tricky part. If he's filling his tank, what operation do you think of to fill his tank? That means he's putting more gas inside. That would be the operation addition, all right? So he's adding gas. I'm gonna use the, I'm so sorry guys, I'm messing this up for you. I'm gonna use the variable G to represent gas. So he has 12 gallons. I'm gonna start off by writing the number 12. He stops to fill up his tank. So he's gonna add more gas. So what is he adding? Gas, my variable G. But he can only add enough gas so that his car has a maximum of 21 gallons. So the gas tank would have to be less than or equal to 21. All right, if it's more than 21, it would just start pouring out the side. It's too much gas. All right, so number 4 was a little bit tricky, but that should have been the answer for 4. All right, let's look at 5, and then I'm gonna have you guys practice some on your own. Number 5, it says 2/3 of the sum of a number in 4 is greater than 9. So I'm looking for the inequality. I see greater than. This one was hopefully a little bit more straightforward because greater than is just the greater than symbol. All right, and now I'm gonna go back and start cubing. 2/3 is a key number. 2/3, you write it as a fraction. 2/3 of the sum of, So that means I'm gonna add 2 things. I wanna find the sum of a number and 4. I don't know what that number is, so I'm gonna call it X and 4. And this whole thing is gonna be greater than 9. 9 is a key number as well. Now this is super, super tricky because if I want to find 2/3 of the sum, that means I want to multiply 2/3 times the sum of X and 4. So that means I want to add X and 4. So I want to add X and 4, but this would have to be in parentheses because I want to find 2/3 of whatever this answer was. I want to find 2/3 of whatever this answer was. So I have to put this in parentheses because I need to add these guys together first and then multiply by 2/3 second. This is really hard. Anytime we have to add in those parentheses, it's super tricky. All right, so it's not you, it's definitely tough. And then greater than 9, I want to be greater than 9. All right. Anytime you see sum of, you can always put those terms in parentheses. But most of the time we don't need it, but a question like 5 you would. All right, so if it just said to find the sum of x and 4, I could have just wrote x plus 4. But I don't want to just find the sum of x plus 4. I want to find 2/3 of the sum of x and 4. So when you have that number in front, you have to put the sum in parentheses. All right, super tricky. All right, let's try maybe just one more, and then I'll let you guys work on the rest by yourself. Number 6, it says 3 added to 9 times a number is at least 1. So I know at least is my key inequality word here. At least, that means the least amount that I can have is 1. So I can have 1, I can equal 1, but that's the least. I can't be any smaller. That's the lowest. That's the least. So I'd have to be greater than 1 instead. So at least greater than or equal to. Now I'm going to go back and cube the question to finish this off. 3 added to plus 9 times a number, I don't know what the number is, I'm going to call it x, is at least 1. And here we go, 3 plus 9 times x is greater than or equal to 1. 3 plus 9 times x is greater than or equal to 1. All right, you guys are going to finish this page on your own. Press pause and you can check back for the answers when you are done. All right, you guys, here are the answers to 7 through 15. I can see here that number 7, number 8, number 9, and number 11 all had that key switch word then or from within them. So again, after you cube the question, you want to make sure that after you've written it out, you switch those key numbers so that way you get the correct answer at the end. All right, switch them around so you get the correct answer at the end. All right, so here again is the answers to 7 through 15. If you need to pause the video to copy any of this down or to just check your answers, I'm really hoping that you tried, most of them, if not all of them on your own. And then after you've done that, I'm just gonna pull this away. Whoop. All right, you guys gotta work on the closure and the homework on your own, okay? So you gotta do this last page. As you look at the closure, it says, write the inequality that applies to each of the following words in each box. So all they're asking you to do here is write the inequality symbol. So I'm gonna just do 2 with you, and then you'll do the rest of this page on your own. So when it says at most, you wanna think of the opposite, okay? So the most I can have is $100. So I can have $100. I'm gonna use that inequality symbol, the equal, but the most I can have is 100. So I can have 100 or I could have less than 100 because 100 is the most. Now I wanna go the opposite way for less. Same thing here, maximum. The maximum number of, the maximum weight that a roller coaster can hold is 500 pounds. All right, so the maximum number it can hold. So it can hold 500, but that's the maximum. I can't be more than 500, but I could be less than 500. All right, so this is all you have to do for these guys. You just got to fill in the correct inequality symbol. And then the homework looks just like what we did on the last page. You have to change all of these number sentences, all of these word sentences into number sentences. All right, just like we did before. 2 times, that would be 2 parentheses, right? And then you would kind of go from there. All right, make sure you upload all